on the western side. But right now we're looking at a fight finally between Box as well as Orange Rock. But it's only 2 players from Box here. If Orange Rock do take this fight, they will have the lead.
It's not fully reinforced though for Orange Rock as well. They have got a player closer, but the backup can come from both of these squads, and I think Orange Rock like their position too much to try and push out of it. They don't want someone to come in from over towards Castle, maybe even from the north side of Volnova if they're getting shoved out. So taking the fight on their home turf is where they're going to opt to set their tent.
Bigatron not had to move very much at all. They have moved their way over to the loot drop that dropped towards the center of the current circle. So they'll
want to get Luxy those orbs.
I mean, yeah, get Luxy and AWM on board. He'll be absolutely fantastically fine. I do love that they even have a unique playstyle. I mean, most teams like Kalara said, do prefer that DMR, but Luxy's like, look, I like to be able to immediately take someone out of the fight, and I'm confident enough to do it. We touted Luxy in the global finals being this long-range specialist, but here we've got King of Gamers taking shots towards Box. Break does go down, but it's Marvi just to move over the top with Gil to find that kill.
They're not going to push out again, and this is what Orange Rock were doing previously. They're just holding down the ground that they currently own. They don't need to leave. They're not under that too much pressure. Break, however, he is not so lucky. Will has already gone down, and more bullets being sent his way. King of Gamers now. It's the first game today for them into the World League, and Box are giving them a pretty hard time of it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's going to be a difficult push, though, for Box all in all, because Orange Rock currently hold that. It's like a bit of spike of land out the floor. That's Team Secret actually going down. BOBU was there solo. They'll be going down to 16th. They will not be happy about that one. But currently, like I was saying, Orange Rock control a really strong position where they can deny sightlines using this big feature of the environment to their advantage. Here is no chance. They took a fight with Team Secret early, and now they're actually crashing into Megastars, who are holding towards Winery. This team has a lot of confidence. Orange Rock also finding one more player from Box. Can he find the shot onto him? No, just about misses.
Yeah, able to tuck in behind. Heineken goes down for the no chance team, and King of Gamers find one of their players flushed out as Orange Rock starts to rain down hell over towards Box. Pmwl out in the blue. They are going to get pushed in, so they do have to leave their ground, but the damage is done and the pressure is there. Oh, okay.
Synergy taking heavy fire onto King of Gamers. See if he gets the flush onto Puffer, but damn, this was a compound control by King of Gamers. Let's remember that Synergy have absolutely crashed in here. Nice aggressive play. I believe it is just Soup now alive for King of Gamers, and it's a heavy shift over to the western side. Luckily, BTR, they're still feeling pretty happy about this one, still within the circle. Yudu gank towards the southern side, and they're looking to keep this one happening. Box will lose another player now, and all these teams on the eastern side, they'll have to make their way in. That includes T1, but they have looted up nice and heavy, and Celt's now taking some fights. Let's see where they are. Currently, they're stuck in a slightly awkward position, running alongside UQ here. It's slightly difficult.
Orshan going to be into the fight, close range, turns the corner with the micros. He finds one with his teammates. Going down, Ultron is going to fall and has to hit the deck, goes to the reload. G36 in hand, the deck again, tries for the drop shot, but he's not going to be able to finish it out. GRX Celts able to take down the imminent threat, but where are the wing players? Where are these off angles? They should be worried, but they're going to go for the res.
You level up just got taken down by the big boss, Celts here. There's still a couple more players. You've got Mao over here with the Overwatch, and he'll be able to see the players coming at the top. You've got the G36. That finger's nasty. Beautiful headshot, but immediately drops wide a tanky. That's some evasive maneuvers on the board.
He's able to slip past the fearsome fire. Pmwl will not be able to find that frag, but he knows the location, and Tanky will have to leave it, obviously not in the current blue zone. Applying some bandages, getting some healing done. You can see he doesn't have any first aids available, Blank.
No, he's struggling. Mao here, you level up, sending all their hopes and wishes forward with him. Tanky does get taken down. Beautiful shots coming out from Mount immediately into the actual vehicle here. This is really smart. He knows he's got a pick now, and they will have to either rush out or go for the res. But it's Orange Rock versus Synergy. This is a big clash between the South Asian teams.
They're pushing forwards. It's Orange Rock going really aggressive here. Sirvi and Austin trying to hold down the corner. King of Gamers get eliminated, but the fight still rages on between Orange Rock. One full scout able to land the shot. Coming in and really picking up the pieces here as Austin tries to turn the corner, but there's an off angle from Gil as he swings out wide. Ted tries for a little bit more, but he is going to be able to find 2 knocks with the rest of his squad as well. Orange Rock down to 2, but
oh my God,
the
Gil!
jump shot from Gil. Able to shut it out. Beautiful stuff as Orange Rock wipe Synergy.
Oh my God, Gil just played the most dangerous game of peekaboo I've ever seen, and he comes out on top because of it. And BTR, they're again within the middle. Imagine if we start Pmwl with 2 chicken dinners on the trot from BTR. Wow. Now that would be a start to go down in history. Megastars, though, they're on the southern side. T1, they made a slip down to the southern side as well, but they're further south than anybody else, and they're going to have to fight through Yudu. Megastars, the remaining member of U Level Up, and BTR is the final boss in the middle.
Orange Rock now taking a little bit of punishment on the back of that fight from Box, who were waiting in the wings. And they'll have to try and either save him or get on out of there. They do have 4 with one of them down, so we'll have to decide, do they want to invest that time or no? T1, no kills yet, nothing really found, but they're safe and sound on the south side. Will have to move up north, however, through plenty of squads.
Yeah, they've been biding their time. Now, this is where it gets a little bit more open, especially towards Winery. And it seems to be that they're going to go into the blue and try and move up on the eastern side. They'll only come into contact with U Level Up, and this might be a really smart rotation for them that no one else has figured out to do. U Level Up Mao is the only one who can really put a stop to this, and they'll be heavily damaged from the blue, so they're going to have to make something happen very quickly. Mao is within the building. I think they know that someone's in here. Missile drops around the side, but they're both incredibly damaged.
This is crunch time, Blank. This is the Thanos circle, as I like to call it. You level up, go for the drop shot. This time it's going to work out. He finds a second, and T1 eliminated.
Mao on his own. Sure, they were damaged, but to make that one happen under the pressure there, Mao was so incredibly calm, and he will get a ghillie suit for his troubles, which will blend in perfectly with this environment. Gil, though, they're still going in terms of Orange Rock. Box did pretend to leave them alone a little bit, but they're still just waiting on the wings.
Orange Rock, you say, they are ready and waiting, but Nova Godlike playing spoiler, potentially. Cooking the nade, wants to try and send it into the shack. If it does land, that would be devastating for Orange Rock. I don't think they could survive, so they'll have to figure it out how they're going to escape, how they're going to evacuate. They're sending out nades the other way. The nades
what? It bounces out the building!
No way.
Are you kidding?
It was a missed nade, but they actually managed to get it out there. But there's the nade in response. Beautifully threaded there for Nova Godlike. 2 down, and they might just try and push this one out, Blank.
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense. Avenger was saying on the desk that takes you about 20 seconds to get that res, and there's 2 down here, so there's plenty of time for Nova Godlike to actually move in. Beautiful Molotovs comes through the top, and Orange Rock will feel the heat, but just about make it out in time. Gil goes down, but now it's his teammates returning the favor. Beautiful smoke so over the top, and now the Molotovs come through just to prevent the push.
But the crucial thing here, Blank, is that Orange Rock have managed to get out of the shack. They are no longer pinned to that hard cover. They can start to spread out, maybe take control behind the tree. They know that Nova Godlike should be down to 2 if they've been keeping track of the kill feed, and they still have the numbers advantage.
The only issue here is now BTR, they're trapped. Well, not trapped, I'd say, but they're right on the edge of the circle. They still have a compound, so they might choose not to push out here. That's Hasta actually going down from Nova Godlike. Orange Rock continue to make this happen. Gil pops out the smoke for just a second, tries to get a little bit of info, burns the image ahead of him into his mind, and then tries to relay that one back.
It was Box, actually, I think, with a little bit of a third party coming in. Orange Rock, again, losing a player, but this is going to force Vampire to make that crossing. Orange Rock stopped just for now, but they know they're both behind it. That's another nade being sent forwards. Not too sure if it's going to have the same impact. We'll have to wait and see. Yudu moving in towards the circle, trying to fight it out with pretty much everyone else on this southeastern side. They are going to have to, sorry, the northwestern side, as they are going to take the fight to them. Megastars eliminated. as the fight rages on.
That is a beautiful play from Orange Rock to withstand all that for so long. Also, while setting up smokes in the meantime to make sure they got the crossover on top of it. That is a lot of forward thinking from this team, and you're really, really happy to see it. That Orange Rock is looking one step ahead. Nice little spray. Does not find Box, though, and they'll live to tell the tale another day. They're taking a lot of fire from a lot of different teams.
Oh, goodness me. Bigatron now starting to chime in. They're up to 4 kills as Orange Rock take another fight, and with it eliminate Box Gaming. 4 teams now remaining, as it was a massive gauntlet push for everybody except for Bigatron.
Yeah, Orange Rock 10 kills, 1,800 damage already, and now it's Bigatron starting to chime in. 4 members alive. That is not easy to do, especially on Vikendi with a circle like this. Nice shots coming out from Orange Rock. That is Parang down. Now just Fredo alive. That could have been an accurate spray, but Gil decides not to follow through with it. And they're all just crawling over towards where Fredo is. Orange Rock could quite easily make the push, but you see Marvy so incredibly low. He's currently walking whilst healing, and Zuxi is in a position to start taking shots.
He's got the off angle from the rest of his squad, has control of some of this zone. He's been sent out as that close-range fragger that we know him to be, but it's Scout to try and take the challenge. Smoke's being popped through, the spray from Zuxi. Not quite able to land those shots, and Bigatron looking to try and challenge out, has to send out wide into the smoke. Takes minimal damage from that. There could have been a lot worse, Blank.
If they can take Zuxi, they might even the odds a little bit here. Sure, BTR still control a decent compound. Scout, though, proving himself now in the Pmwl to definitely not be one to look over. Yudogank in the distance. Ryzen will pick up that kill. Bigatron very happy to look for placement points here. That's Parang now down, and that's Yudogank out. 2 teams left. It's Orange Rock versus BTR. 2 Titans on the field.
With an armistice agreed, they take out Yudogank, but now it's back to loggerheads. Blank, Orange Rock. They fought their way through valiantly. 11 kills so far on the round, but Bigatron might just be able to put a stop to it with 6 kills themselves, looking to get that second chicken dinner. These guys, they're unstoppable right now.
And this is the uphill battle I was talking about. And Orange Rock, they've had to use so many resources just to get here. Smokes, grenades, everything. Sure, they've got a couple of resupplies. That Scout now down. Gil out in the blue. He's just moving his way across. Can he stay alive for a little bit longer? But Microboy, Scout down.
Last player now standing, it's Gil out in the blue, and Bigatron take home yet a second. We were talking about how everyone is reminded constantly of mortality, Blank, but right now, Bigatron, they're ascending, they are becoming gods.
That is incredible. That is just ridiculous. 2 on the trot. You know, I'm even inclined to say next to Renkel could even definitely be BTRs. Just from the way they're playing, it feels like no one can touch them right now.
They are seemingly unstoppable. All 4 of them stayed alive all towards the end. They did have a little bit of circle lock, though, so there is a little bit of an asterisk.
For sure.
However, they're really good, okay? They are amazing, okay? We're going to send it over to the desk, and they're going to tell you just how good Bigatron were that game.
Guys, really good, all right? Just like bow down to your new Red Alien Overlords, because 2 wins back to back. Jeez, look, they're gonna keep doing this, aren't they?
I mean, they're just playing it with style.
Honestly, they're putting themselves in a undisputed position, right?
Oh,
it's kind of crazy. I think it's hard to win games back to back at this level.
Yeah,
we have some of the best teams here from East. It's I'm curious if the only game they're not going to win today is going to be the game that they're not playing.
Maybe
the last game of the day, or what's going to happen here. I'm curious to see what's going to happen.
It's the foreboding tale of best of luck to everybody else here from Bigatron. Let's take a look at the overall ranking coming in from this game, of course, as we have up towards the top. As if 30 points wasn't enough in the previous game, 28 points for them in game number 2. Orange Rock, though, getting themselves 25 points. A very big game for them here off the back of this. One thing that I do want to point out is you level up as well as Box coming in for this game. This is their first game, and they get themselves a 4th and 5th. Good stuff here, Avenger.
I want to touch upon Orange Rock, though, here. Being able to get the 11 kill points from this, they were starting outside the circle. They were up north of Goroka, and they were able to get into a good position into the circle. The guys that were outside inside the circle from the beginning, they were obviously Bigatron, some of the other teams that had a good position. But these guys had to rotate. They had to get into a good position. They had to fight their way in, and they managed to get a lot of kills as well. Scout, I believe, finished in 6 kills.
Nice, nicely done. And Synergy, you could see there as well, had themselves 4 kills. This is their first game as well, as they were sitting out for that first game of the day. So to get even what is effectively a squad's worth of kills to start off things is not that bad as we take a look at the damage done here for us.
No, definitely not. But look at Orange Rock. They're getting 2.2k damage. We see a lot of them getting around 1k there, a lot of the teams. Biggitron, they only had 1,500, but hey, 1,500 is well more than enough if you're going to win the game as well.
There was that moment, Avenger, where I think we thought that Biggitron had a great spot to be able to gatekeep a lot of teams, but not many teams came their way, Avenger. So they were chilling in the, in the field location that they had, and able to win out from there.
They were holding from the very beginning. They were also holding a really strong split and a strong hold onto a position that is very, very strong. They were able to stay there for a long time, and they didn't have to move too much, but still, they were putting pressure on everybody else. They're shooting at the teams that are getting too close with them and fighting with them if necessary, because they wanted to make sure that they're holding down these 2 specific spots here for a long time. So very good to see.
Not only that, but we also see them actually making the game-winning move all the time. They don't wait for the other teams to do something. They create the moments themselves, using those smokes to get into a better position to hold the other teams out. It's kind of the same thing now as we saw on Erangel when they did the 2-2 split. This time it was kind of 2 guys in the back, 2 guys pushing up a little bit more 1-1 there, and make sure that they have control over Scout, making sure that he doesn't have the upper hand against them.
Nicely done. Let's take a look at the numbers coming in from Orange Rock, as well as, I assume, Biggitron up towards the top. No, just Orange Rock to get things going here. So 2,200 damage coming in. Look at that healing. Couldn't be more a perfect number.
Look,
I like it.
2,200 damage done, but 900 alone came from Scout, and Scout just joined the team.
Yeah.
Coming in from Fnatic, so having a good impact on the team right from the start here.
From the get-go, yeah. I mean, when you have that as a player freshly coming into a team Avenger, that's gonna, give you a bit of a boost. Even if you've not won out the game, you've put in such a good effort for your team that you're like, we can do this, guys. We can do this.
The moral boost you get from that is insane.
Yeah.
I gotta say, from playing myself as well, also playing normal games and stuff, I gotta say it's crazy how much moral it gives you when one of your teammates clutches. It's just boosting immediately.
Let's take a look at the Mountain Dew do moments as we have here. This fight that went down between Team Secret and No Chance team here for us.
Yeah, earlier on in pod, we saw these 2 teams battling out. Team Secret did lose 3 people, while No Chance team actually got out of there with 3 kills, all 4 alive. But what's key for that is that No Chance team actually had good trades coming in. Every time someone got knocked on the team, someone was there to trade it off straight away, getting the revive up, and then just go for the next fight.
G36C coming in hot as well, Avenger, throughout some of these moments.
It's one of my favorite guns in across games. I really like it here as well, and I think it's a very well balanced game. Not too much recoil, and it's good to see that so many of these guys are deciding to. This play though from Mao, absolutely amazing. Knocking one, knocking another, finishing off an amazing clutch here as a solo player. It's not often you see that.
This is also a great moment. We see that Nova Godlike actually got a lot of knocks on Orange Rock here, and Orange Rock is pinned on the other side of the road there, but they actually managed to turn this around in towards the end there, not only getting the spot but also getting those kills.
Scout having to reposition himself, some of those shots clipping that Zima there, as you see Yudu picking up a few kills here and there, but towards the end it really kind of was all Biggitron with the position they had, Avenger, to be able to greet any other kind of oppressors that came their way.
The confidence in playing on top of the roof there and just shooting everybody in the field is just insane. Like, you're just mastering everybody. Again, undisputed, I think, is a word we're going to hear more times from myself at least. I think these guys are here to show that it might be opening weekend, but we're here to show we're the best.
Yeah, and they made that look pretty darn easy across these first 2 games for them. A little bit more tricky on that Erangel game, of course. Runway ending, it can be tricky, but Biggitron looking strong here to get things going. Also, what I love the Uzi, the micro Uzi. I want to be able to dual wield them so I can go brrr, brrr. It'd be so sick. No recall, easy peasy.
No.
No, you don't want the dual Uzi?
No.
I just realized something.
What's that?
Are we gonna get a Chicken Dinner World Tour on day 1?
Oh, well,
It's good.
That's ambitious.
They're playing
we have a lot
every
of
map
battlegrounds.
except the last game. We're talking
The last
about
game is
Biggitron.
Angel, so it
Yeah, exactly.
happened.
And that's the one they're sitting out on today.
win on every single map. That would be impressive. Let's take a look at one of the moments you chose over there. I think it's you, Avenger, this time.
Yes, I want to talk a bit about how important it is to, the first time you play in these maps here and such. We see the circle, or we see the plane path coming in very early on here. It's around from Peshkova down to the south. Bigatron is already in a really good position. But look how many of these priority spots are not taken. Villa is not taken. Dino Park is not taken. Cement Factory is not taken. All these spots, if you're able to lock that down from one of the first games on, you're going to be able to maybe keep it for the rest of the tournament. So I'm curious to see some of the teams that are playing here, as even the teams that are not playing, are they looking at that? Are they noting this down? And are we going to see teams drop in here? Because Villa is probably one of the best spots to have on. It's so center. You can literally come from everywhere. Cement Factory has amazing loot as well. So I'm curious to see how they're going to pick up and how they're going to be able to adapt throughout the next games and the next times we're going to be playing Vikendi.
Dino Park, not too bad either. Especially if you're a fan of paleontology. I am a big fan of paleontology myself.
Yeah.
Great times.
Calarasaurus.
There you go, Calarasaurus. That'd be weird. Let's take a look at the overall rankings, 1 through 10, and Biggie is almost double the points of number 2 right now after 2 games. It's just Biggie things. Probably should make that a hashtag. We have Udugank here as well in second place with that 31 points, but just Biggie. Are they going to let anybody have chicken dinners?
Yes, the last game.
Oh yes, we're not playing.
They're chilling. They're waiting out. They're not playing in that one.
Let's take a look at our bottom teams as well here for the moment, 11th through 20th, as we have an interesting thing that actually occurred throughout these games. TSM Entity went out very early. I think it was in our first game, and Team Secret, despite getting a few points here and there, went out pretty early in the second game for us.
Yeah, and we heard from Luxy earlier, before the last game there, that he was saying their biggest opponents are TSM Entity and Team Secret.
Right.
Now, this Bigatron is sitting on first place, of course, while TSM, Entity, and Team Secret going out in last place in the 2 first games. That means that they might be seeded into the same group, and you don't want to be in the same group as your biggest opponents.
If the trend continues like this, that could definitely occur. So let's see how that actually pans out throughout these 2 days. But also at home, you can be involved as well, not only by watching, but also getting involved as well. All the time, we're going to have the PMWL Lucky Draw as well. So if you're watching along with it, we're going to be picking people, lucky people, like
more
you,
skins,
Froz.
more skins.
Maybe like you, Froz. I know you're a big fan of skins.
Yes.
So you can potentially get yourself some as well. So make sure to be watching everywhere and tune in because it's a good time here at the PMWL.
You know what we never thought about?
What's that?
So the unique skins, the 100 unique skins for the viewers that are watching the most, right? We're also watching this. We should be in the top 100. We're watching all of the games.
No.
It doesn't count.
That's cheating.
You don't think?
No. You are watching, but no. You're not allowed any. Right? Froz can have some, but you can't.
What? No.
Yes.
That's not okay.
Just give it to me.
All right. We'll go into a short break, and when we return, we're going to have game number 3 on the way for you here for the PMWL East day number 1. That's right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I've brought my reenactment of Lord of the Rings over to my left-hand side here. I'm going to be Gollum. I'll diss myself for all of this.
Okay.
You can be, all right, gentlemen. Maxman, I've got Imperium here as well. How are you doing, guys? A great way to start things off, I'm sure.
I don't think you could ask for a bigger message of BTR to send a message to the rest of the teams.
Definitely. It was huge, Maxman.
That was absolutely insane. Like, kicking off the entire tournament was a back-to-back chicken dinner. I think nobody really expected it. Maybe the casters there, they were both expecting it, but definitely can't wait to jump to game number 3.
Do you think they're going to get more wins?
I mean,
of course, no doubt, but at the end of the day, now it's going to be up to every single other team to catch up.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, thank you very much, gentlemen. I'm going to have you guys come and commentate later on, as I'm now going to head over back to Froz and Avenger. I've already now denied Avenger skin, so he's not going to be getting any throughout this.
We don't want you anymore. If you're denying my
skin. Froz, though, he can have all the skins. He already has all the golden.
I accept them.
You don't have the bag, though, no?
No, I don't have the backpacks yet.
Oh well. Let's take a look at the schedule. We've got 3 more games coming at you here for today for the PMWL, and we are going to be going to Miramar.
Which is also Lux's favorite map.
Oh my
Yes,
god.
you're not wrong. Oh no. Can we have the alien invasion just stop for just a moment? That would be great. So Miramar is next on up. Then we'll have Sanark and rounding things out with Erangel later on. This game, Group C is not going to be participating, so they're sitting out for the moment here, Avenger, whilst everybody else kind of jostles for points, jostles for position.
And again, important, I know I'm saying this a lot, but it's super important here in the opening weekend. We are just playing for seeding, which means that you can take a lot of kind of freedom in terms of trying to make sure that you get your drop spot. And the reason I want to say, the reason why it's important to get your drop spot is because if you're able to get that as the only team in a good position, you're going to have a big advantage going into the rest of the games. And we're here for a long time. We're playing a lot of games. If you're able to be in a spot where you can safely get your own cars, you can loot in peace, and you can, go full loot goblin, make sure you get all the scopes, all the magazines, everything that you need. It's going to give you a huge advantage going into the rest of the stages, the rest of the games, and potentially getting you more kills, getting into a better position into the circles as well.
I mean, it might be for seeding, but at the same time, you're also leaving a statement to the other teams.
Oh,
hey,
sure.
we are here, we are the best ones. You should worry about us. So you don't want to be in our group, and you don't want to drop near us in the league itself.
100%.
And there's a lot of people that really like Hacienda as well. So let's take...
But Miramar, though, a fantastic map. Personally, my favorite as well. We have the macro rotations, your big vertical rotations that Lux set as well. And if some of the teams that are mastering it at a level where, competing kind of to Bigatron, they might be able to get themselves into fantastic locations, getting even more kills, setting up, gatekeepings and road kills and such like this. I'm excited to see the.
You know what the answer is?
Yes.
Golden Morado.
Yes.
All right, let's take a look at the PMCO fall split as well that you guys can register for at home. We're going to keep reminding you because it ends tomorrow. The registration ends tomorrow. So make sure that you are registered. Make sure you can come and frag on out. And maybe you'll meet even some of these pros along the road as well, because the PMCO concludes, obviously, with the very best teams going to that final. And oftentimes, it's some of those very big names, maybe even some of the teams that are here, actually playing things out. Let's do a cross comparison, of course, so far of Luxy and Godless. Can we, again, Luxy, can you calm down? But also Godless, impressive performance so far.
Very impressive, but look at the damage done to damage received ratio from both of these guys. Yes, you always want to have a higher ratio. Obviously, that puts you more on your knees. You're down on that. You also always want to have the better ratio, right? Being able to have this ratio here from Luxy is insane. But Godless being able to have that many kills, very impressive considering that obviously they haven't won any games yet. He's putting a lot of damage out and affecting that.
All right, gentlemen, it's time. Shush, Ross. It's time. We're going to the game, all right? I'll get you later on. We're heading over to Imperium and Maxman here. From all the action from Miramar, let's get it going to the desert.
2 games, as we said, 2 wins from Big E-Tron. What can the rest of the teams do in this game 3? New map, new opportunities.
Definitely new map and new opportunities. So far, I mean, Bigatron, they already made history, like kicking it off with 2 chicken dinners already right off the bat with 2 games. Can I make it even more history? Like, even more history? Is that even sayable? I don't even think so, but really, like, making it a back-to-back-to-back chicken dinner, that would be a huge statement going into this PMWL event on the Eastern region, but definitely going to be over now Miramar, going to have some action coming straight up. We're going to have some desert action coming up, baby! And also, the most important thing, Imperium, who's going to get the Golden Morado?
That's going to be something we can definitely look at. Now, of course, with it being a new game, a new map, we do have a group that is, of course, not playing in this game, right? We do not have Celts, we do not have Orange Rock, and we do not have Nova. So, of course, Orange Rock off the back of what was an impressive Game 2 in Vikendi. What can the teams who are bringing in Valdus, IND, RQ, and TSM show us in Miramar?
Let's see what they can indeed bring to the table, Imperium. Going to be having Yuri, currently our team in, second position, right behind BTR. BTR, they already got double their amount of points, so boy, that's insane. But Yuri, they're going to go for Cobriera up north. Hopefully, they get a decent circle for them on phase 1, because their circle shifts mid to late game, not really good in their favor. They've been pretty unlucky, most of the time actually stopping them from getting those chicken dinners.
Of course, Namaste Duostu to all our viewers out there and everybody supporting the stream for day 1 of the PMWL East. We are seeing these teams, of course, playing their way down south because the playing trajectory is towards the west of the map. You gotta hope, the teams have got to hope that the phase 1 circle complements it. It does, Max, but it is quite heavily down south.
poor you guys. Like, come on. They're like, oh, come on. We went for the northern side. But we're going to have a little bit of action already early on. Potentially was Team Secret, if I'm not mistaken. You've got a few players of you level up all around them. But we're going to go straight over to San Martin, where T1 going to be joining up with some early game action. Still got 4 players alive, and boy, they are clearing up this area. And they're going to be picking up their very first kill of this game. Still looking for Valdez Esports. They're just like staying on top of that building. They are scared to go down, baby. But how will Valdez respond to this one?
Valdez had a break in game 2, but maybe they've just been caught napping a little bit too long coming into this game 3, being caught out in the early parts of this game in the San Martin area by T1. In the last game in Vikendi, T1 did drop with King of Gamers, but they disengaged earlier on. They do not want to do it this time. They want to take the fight to Valdez.
So we're seeing on our kill feed RQ, and also No Chance taking a little bit of a fight to a little Podzo. We'll see how that's going to be coming out eventually over the board. But right now, unfortunately, having that high ground position from Armjo, not going to give them too much really information away, because T1, they already cracked this one open. They're already in the building. But at least if they did pick up some utility, because the fight was so quick, right? I hope they were able to pick up some smokes, some mollies and grenades, because if they didn't, to stop that push off T1 is going to be really a hard task to achieve.
Oh, Martin is able to at least clap back and get a knockdown onto ZP to at least stop T1 in their tracks in the early parts of this Miramar game. This is the Pmwl East. This is day 1. This is what we want to see.
Exactly. Also, TSM Entity and Team Secret going to be popping up a lot of potential fights happening over here on Miramar, which is not supposed to happen all that often. It is the biggest map in the game. So this is definitely very intriguing. But nice, actually, explosion coming out from Valdez Esports. Going to shut down a player of T1, but that's fine. He is safe for the time being, as here it is. Going to go over to Hacienda del Patron. You have to say it with the accent, otherwise it doesn't work, Imperium. And now we're going to have Team Secret slowly going to get breached up. TSM Entity actually having only 2 players remaining is Z-God and Clutch God. They're going to go for the push. Z-God's down. Clutch God going to be left alone. We have 2 gods. 1 is down. Will he be the one true god of them all? That's the question. But Clutch God trying his best to reposition, trying to really capitalize on the fact that 2 members are knocked away for Team Secret. Goes for the push. Gets potentially 1. U-High put extremely low, and he takes absolutely no damage. Switches over to the shotgun. And that's not the best weapon to pull off Clutch's Imperium. Here it is. They're going for the push. Need a few more bullets. What is happening right now? What is this standoff? He's taking almost no damage. Clutch God, what is going through? Team Secret now, they might have to rethink this one. Like, how did they not catch him out, Imperium?
So many bullets flying in the direction of Clutch God, but none of them connecting. We saw he had to switch from the M4 to the shotgun because he had to try to reload the gun, but at the end of the day, he's gonna survive as Clutch God gets a knockdown on the shot onto Matoy. He shuts down Team Secret, and TSM fight back in Miramar.
And the res, normally on Z-God, should be coming out. They're going to remain as a 2-man army. That's a way better performance than what we saw earlier on Erangel. But now back on over to the fight of San Martin. Going to be having Velmarth going on to the... Oh man, some more shotgun. So many shotgun action coming out on top there. And there you have it. T1 will indeed be the one to come out on top as they pick up 4 kills on Valdez Esports. Lose, unfortunately, Saden and ZZP along the way. But at least they remain alive, which is still a good thing.
4.5 minutes into this game, and we are down to 14 teams already. We've barely had a chance to talk about the circle and talk about the rotations that these teams will have to look to make on the sweeping Miramar map. We saw phase 1 in the down southern area part of the game. When you're looking at Reject Scarlet, they're on the far east by Impala. They're going to have a nice, easy entryway, probably down on the southwest coast past IND and get onto the high ground down the south of Chumasera.
As we're currently also looking at No Chance, they left really down south the area of El Pozo to take in a fight with RRQ Athena. You know what? They lost 1 member, unfortunately. But now they can easily go through the road on the western side. It's very clean, it's very safe. No teams are really going to be around there at this early stage, and it just allows you to easily get yourself in the western section of the circle. So I think it's pretty safe. No Chance should get there pretty safely.
Synergy, they're in Valdemar, they're on their own for now. They are inside the circle, but Valdemar, because it's very low down, Max, they'll have to definitely be aware of the fact that the longer they leave it to rotate onto the high ground, the harder it is to get that strong position where they're going to be able to push teams back.
Now, if you guys know me, my favorite area is Picado. BTR, they took that area under control, so you know what? I like Picado. Reason why? It offers you so many rotations on phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 circle. They're pretty central right now. They don't even have to really leave the area if they really don't want to, and the car spawns are pretty decent. You know, you need cars to pull off those rotations. So Bigatron going into this, they already got the tools early stage to make a back-to-back win.
Let's see, as we do see mega stars on our screens. They have the star of the show, Sexy Vexy, along with the on-loan player from Fnatic always. Let's see if they can turn the Monte Nuevo drop spot into the high ground to the south of La Drillera and get that prominent position to get that strong result.
Every time I hear Sexy Vexy is like, Experiment comes to my mind, like a daydream.
Well, he is your dad, after all.
He is. He's the PUBG Mobile esports dad. That is his name. That's what Experiment is. There you go. TSM Entity, they picked up 4 kills. Once again, very good clutch coming out from Clutch God. You know what? I just realized that. You know what? He deserves his name.
Let's be a little bit kind of serious about this, right?
Oh.
If we're really thinking about it, TSM needed that squad, right? They actually need it. I know it's only day one. I know there's a long way to go. I've already talked to Sid. I've gotten answers from him. They are 100% confident. But when it's all said and done, every single game you have to try and bounce back. And on the back of a poor game one in Erangel, where they got taken out by BTR, you had to come in strong on this game 3.
And they didn't even play last game on Vikendi. So,
Exactly.
You know what? That's actually, so far this is going to be their second game. You can have one bad game, but this is also your seeding time. So if you want to get some decent seedings, you only got 2 days coming up into this. So you got to try and put the better performance ASAP into your games. As really, T1 still taking their time, finishing to loot. They got all the area for themselves really in San Martin. So why not just get the entirety of the loot and look if you can maybe find a few medkits.
Of course, T1. They got 9 kills in game 1 in Erangel. It's incredible how strong they can pull out the kills when it's needed, and we've seen this in Miramar.
Rotation coming out from a few squads so far. Going to be checking out a nice replay move, and here it is. That's the clutch moment. Zigot, I do want to say, enabled all of that entire interaction to actually happen. Got 2 nice knockdowns for himself, and then it switched over to shotguns. Normally the meta on Miramar is more like, DMRs, big boy snipers, ARs for long range and mid range. Shotguns, you don't see it too often coming in through. It did have somewhat of a 50-50 impact rate, but at the end it was still won by TSM Entity.
And looking over on that replay, the hype moment, we just couldn't believe it. So it was kind of hard to break down what really happened. And when you really look at it, Team Secret played poorly because they knew there was only 1 player left of TSM Entity. So those footsteps that they would have heard, it should have been so clear that he was coming in from behind. But let's see where this phase 2 goes up. It centers up quite nicely. You have a lot of the south high ground still in play, but you also have the high ground to the south of Picado and to the east of Picado, which is very easily playable.
It's not going to really have a huge impact on this lobby. Reason why no really teams focus, well, actually 0 teams focus down on the island in this southwestern section. So really just shifted back over to the mainland. You always like to see it. And really not going to have too much of a big change up in this phase 2 circle. So really we're going to have to wait. And normally when you have some fights happen after the hot drops, is mainly going to be towards phase 3, phase 4. That's when the action's going to be unfolding.
And we see Synergy, they did what I expect them to, which is they rotated away from Valdemar relatively early enough. They're on the high ground by Minas del Val. Now they're going to be able to go a little bit up north, overlooking the Chumacera area, where they'll hopefully be able to get a lot of information on more forward to the north of them. Even BTR, who disengage away from Mikado, and Team IND, who are to the east of Synergy.
Going to be also on Megastars, trying to rotate their way through. You know what? They're going to be a little bit cornered up between No Chance. There's also going to be Box Gaming. There's going to be Level Up north of them. They are a little bit clustered. Hopefully they won't get caught out of position. But so far there are a lot of dips in that area where they're playing. So if they do get pressured, they'll have a few dips to play around.
Yeah, but when you really look at it, depending on where this next phase goes, there's a lot of teams on the west, not just the ones that are close towards the edge of the circle where we saw in Megastars, but even outside the circle where RQ and Udu Gank are coming.
Synergy, these Captain out sees Kratos. Oh boy, that's some damage instantly coming out of Austin Bot. And they'll get the knockdown. But now they still have another player. Slayer that's going to be down below for Team IND. Only having 2 players to currently just put opposition versus Synergy. But you can't really easily push that. And Austin Box, he learned that the hard way. Just okay, I'm not going to go out there. They got some DMRs. They got some bolt action coming straight up. Team IND are keeping the pressure down to pull off that res back up, but Kratos gets confirmed Imperial. Team ID down to 3 players.
Yeah, take that vision away, take that awareness, take the eyes, and of course, confirm the kill, confirm the point. It's going to help them in their confidence as Synergy look to take control of this area of the map. It's a little bit to the east. They moved from the Minas Tirith area. They want to take control of this high ground, and I love the fact that they are not spreading themselves too thinly. They have those vehicles they can disengage from depending on the circle shift.
Winter, that car stream in, gets weak just before impact, just before explosion, so Winter will, lucky enough, make it away of the grasp of Megastars. Yeah, you talked about it, right? High ground. In those locations, important. That's why Megastars has such an upper hand location on You Level Up.
And you're telling me, because when we looked a few minutes ago, Megastars had no chance and You Level Up close by. They've basically created a huge space simply because of their ability to push back on those shots of You Level Up.
Exactly. If you're a One Piece fan, you know, room, not getting in my circle, otherwise you're dead. But that's fine. Megastars still keeping the pressure down. They got them DMRs, there's bottle action that you need to try and keep that distance with the other teams. Oh, see the head peeking out distance. Pmwl of Box Gaming, Brace going to be joining the party, trying to get 2 points of pressure. But once again, they got a building, they got a little bit of a dip, they're safe, and I think that their position is currently safe for quite a few minutes, so we could potentially shift over to another fight where currently RRQ and also No Chance going to be taking a pretty big engagement for themselves.
Off to Els was confirmed earlier on, so now it's going to be up to the rest of the No Chance team to push on to RRQ. RRQ took out, or stood out game 2, should I say, so they're back for game 3 in Miramar. As D2E wrapping around inside the building. Godless coming in from inside. He's been pretty impressive so far. Let's see if he can continue to be impressive. Behind it and gets knocked. So does Godless. Choco Nut is on his own.
Yeah, Choco Nuts, you're having a little bit of a break over there. You got to join the party, my friend, but unfortunately, it might be too long. It might be too late. RRQ Athena could easily just get those flashes, confirm 2 extra points, and be up to 3 points total. And Choco Nuts like, okay, I'm going to be leaving. See you later, guys.
Well, it's going to be hard for him to get away because as those kills are being confirmed on the other side, as we saw this fight break through, the phase 3 circle shifted to the east, so all those teams along the likes of Megastars, You Level Up, Box Gaming, and Gank are now outside of the circle.
Yep, big boy rotation is going to have to come on through. There's not a really good amount of high ground down south on the western side, so there's going to be a big fight for those current positions. As Megastars, now they know that they're not in circle, they have to move away. And lucky enough, because they had that circle, that room I talked about earlier, they could easily just slip out of that fight where there was 3 teams around them. And, you know, they set up themselves not only for that current position, but also for the mid to late game stage.
I'll give that jump from always a good 7 out of 10. It was nice height. It was really well executed, but let's see as we go on. As You Level Up are going right into the palm of the hands of RQ, who just had a fight against No Chance. Now they're ready to take up a few more kills. That leaves Pmwl on his own now. Now, Pmwl game 2, he took out T1, took out the so many other players. 6 kills for that team in the last game were on him alone.
Pmwl, more like Lamal, you're dead. There you go. There you go. We'll call him like that now, Lamal. I think that's a better name that is very fitting. Megastars gonna have 1 car, unfortunately, a little bit of a bad spot. You know, we keep on looking at Megastars every single time on the camera, but I think it's worth it because their rotation is just so by the book, so simple yet so effective, and it just gets them in a good position every time.
And unlike some teams that would be hard shifted away, Max, they're not going in all at once. They're taking it step by step. They're stopping, scouting, moving. Stopping, scouting, moving. It's such a well-placed rotation from Megastars.
Stopping, scouting, moving. SSM. SM. The Smurf PUBG. SM.
Well, okay, fair enough.
I don't know.
Okay.
Trying to find a few names there, but yeah, TSM Entity, Seagull, Clutch Guard, slowly going to be on a little bit of a low ground. Not a great position. They got across the road. They're scouted out by King of Gamers Club. At least they do have 2 cars, right? So that's going to make things a little bit easier and relieve some of the pressure. And they got that dip next to the road too, which gives them a really good amount of coverage versus King of Gamers Club. Really well executed from TSM Entity.
Yeah, but they're definitely not out of the woods. They're just on the northeastern tip of the circle. They do have T1 to the western on the far northern tip as the blue zone is closing in on phase 3. Phase 4 is about to be showing up on our screens. You do gank one of the teams on the edge of the circle. Megastars coming in behind them. The circle centers up right into the palm of the hands of Synergy. Now it's going to be up to them to hold on to the center part of the circle.
On last game on Vikendi, BTR had a very similar circle to this, and they took the chicken dinner. Synergy, this might be your opportunity to end that that win streak of BTR and take this chicken dinner of Miramar for yourselves. Now, a lot of teams going to have to come out from many angles. A few rows going to have to play around. A lot of rows actually in this game, but Vexy Sexy, unfortunately, will be taken out swiftly by Fredol of Yudu, actually coming in a little bit of an engagement on the side of this circle.
Honestly, considering how long Megastars have been rotating, the fact that they've only lost one player off that, in my eyes, is a huge sign of a huge level of was it Stonks? There you go, there you go. But now, as Yudu are going to have to find their way on the southern tip of the circle, we do have 14 teams, 41 players as we hit the 16.5-minute mark of this game, Max.
Ah, man, so much action is going to be happening right now. We talked about it, right? The later phases, especially phase 3, phase 4. Now we're going to be kicking off phase 4 right now. The circle's going to be closing up. That's where the big boy fight's about to come up and break through. Now you do still have to make it through. They make it into the circle, but they're not going to go any further because that high ground, hey, that's a property of Synergy.
And there is a little bit of a compound where Megastars could actually play their way into on the southern tip of the circle, but they don't necessarily have that information because they've been playing on the edge for most of the game. But as Box Gaming rotate their way through on the far western edge, they break scouting himself forward, giving information to the rest of the team. But you do, they are very close by.
Break of Box Gaming in a box. Very fitting. There you go. Even though the logo's not a box, which I'm still a little bit surprised, but that is fine. Going to get himself in a circle, but oh, here it is. Bigatron Red Alien's going to come around versus TSM Entity. Coach God got shut down. And Seagod will be left alone. But you know what? We talked about it, right? That road was separating the circle and BTR. They were going to struggle eventually, and they have one member taken down. And great grenade response from Seagod. And they're going to go for another one, trying to potentially confirm those kills. They've got 4 kills so far on Team Secret. Can they claim the lives? Yes, they claim 1. That's the 5th kill of TSM for the other side of BTR on TSM Entity. And now BTR, they still got a little bit of high ground. Keep the pressure down. Zegod was not able to pull off the res.
This is the revenge fight for TSM. In game 1, they got taken out by BTR on the bridge, but can they come back fighting in Miramar? Zegod left on his own as BTR crashed their way through down the hill. The shots are coming through from Zegod as he peeks and shoots his way through and puts so much pressure onto BTR. BTR off the back of a 2 chicken dinners in a row, and TSM are making them look weak.
I mean, Micro Boy, just a few HP, was able to barely get res back up, but here it is. Suxy, great angle, I do have to mention there, onto the boys of King of Gamers Club. Unfortunately, not going to get any ending shots just yet, and maybe you got to try and finish his focus onto Zegod first before committing to another fight. They're taking 2 fights at the same time. Could put them in a little bit of a bad spot later on down the line.
Definitely great awareness coming out from BTR. They were able to take multiple fights at the same time while being put under pressure of TSM. But now as we look on towards Yudu Gank, I said this fight between them and Box Gaming was about to kick off. As you see the Blue Zone is closing in on this next phase. Is it going to shift up north? Is it going to shift down south? It could go in any direction. It goes up north right. Again, once again in the hands of BTR.
I'm seeing Jumper, he's got his Mini 14, he's got his DMR locked and loaded, looking for the fight. Unfortunately, we've just seen a kill feed, Zegod unfortunately gets taken out. There you go, TSM Entity eliminated in 12th position, 11 teams still remaining over here on Miramar, the dessert map. Now, Box going to be popping off a little bit of smoke, a little bit of utility. I think that Yudu, they have to refocus on Synergy right now because they're going to get gatekeeped by their team very, very soon. Imperium getting into this, so they got to try and keep their focus on those 2 teams at the same time. And as I say that, Yudu are going to be leaving the scene. They just don't have time to take Box Gaming just yet.
I like the fact, though, that Yudu are thinking about the late game, right? I'm always aware of trying to take down what's going on behind you. But now as this fight goes on between Morph and RQ get eliminated and Morph continue on. They're still a full squad. They're able to shut down RQ. They're going to move their way up. And Morph are morphing themselves into this game, into the latter parts on the northwestern tip of the circle.
Pmwl moving down, Frenzy of Morph, new addition to the team. It's going to slowly try and cruise his way by because they are actually one of the furthest team away from the next circle on phase 5. So hopefully things will be okay for them. But here it is, the fight that you mentioned earlier, Imperium, is going to be Yudu versus Synergy. Yudu having 1 member knocked away. Synergy still full squad, 4v3 so far in their advantage. But here it is, they're peeking over the top of the mountain. And Yudu, before committing fully, they're going to go for the res, which I'm not too sure if that's a good idea, my friend, but still, The nice spray comes out from Zigsaw. A grenade could be huge to shut them down, but Zigsaw will be the first character of Synergy. And oh my god, that was instantly shut down with that car explosion.
Great rotation coming out from Udu Gang as a two-man team pushing forward, knocking out Survey. Smokes get thrown out by Jax to create that little bit of space, and that gives more awareness, more positional play for Udu Gang to close out the members of Synergy, leaving just Awesome Bot X and Ted left standing.
Issue we have right here, Synergy way too thinly spread, not able to hold the edge of the circle. Unfortunately, a 2-2 split would have been on point, but then unfortunately that a 2-1-1 made things definitely a little bit harder for them. But now, Udu's still able to make it out alive. Megastars, you talked about it right there, to rotate down south. They made it across the road because all the teams were so focalized on each another. That made a great opening for Megastars, but there's now 3-4 teams around them. Can they make it out to the next stage?
We just lost King of Gamers Club as well, yet to really kick off their PMWL East with two overall realistically poor performances, but of course we'll see if they can make up for it as Udu Gang are trying to make up. They take down Megastars. They're on 5 kills already. They're pushing their way through on the southern tip of the circle, taking down the majority of Synergy, taking down Megastars. We see Reject eliminated. 5 teams left.
5 teams left, and BTR still in the lobby. Can they make the unthinkable thinkable, Imperium, and get 3 chicken dinners right off the bat, kicking off this entire PMWL East tournament? As Synergy, unfortunately, going to be taking a big fat L in that one. Ted is going to be left alone in his own little compound, just crying in his corner, hopefully able to make his way back in circle. He's only got 30 seconds to take action here. We make it to phase 6. I'm a little bit doubtful.
It's definitely not going to be easy, but maybe he can play off the distraction that Udu and Team IND might be able to create against each other. It is going to be 4v2 between Udu and Team IND. You also have Morph. Morph are still a full squad on the eastern side of this circle.
420 OP of Team IND is going to go for the push. He sees the information. He gets the... Oh my god, gets job done. I thought he's got jumper there for a second, but unfortunately not quite able to get that knockdown. But they are definitely going to have to potentially give up on this fight. You know that Udu, they are struggling. Not too sure how to fully commit to this one. Team IND, here it is. They're keeping the pressure high, keeping the pressure at an all-times high. As here it is, they're making their way down the mountaintop, and Udu make their way into the circle, but the high ground is still to the advantage of Team IND. Things are not looking great on the other side, but Udu still got 1 player, and that's going to be Drax.
That was really poor by Udu. You knew they were there. Why did you anyway get anywhere near the vehicles and look to disengage away? This is the time of the game where you have to fight, kill, and frag your way through to the latter parts of this game, because it's put them down to 2 players. Team IND still have 2. Yes, they are further away from the circle, but they're on 8 kills max.
One team we haven't talked about too much, that's Morph going into this. Just sneaky snakes. I mean, no, rattlesnakes over here. Miramar, but able to make their way in the circle. BTR slowly waking up. And now they're going to be looking for
Team IND
to get 1. Can he get Slayer off Team IND? Oh my god, Slayer gets it done. Team IND shut down. And there you go, Udu eliminated in 5th position. That's insane.
Revenge is a dish best served Sandy, as Team IND get revenge onto BTR from the game 1 where they couldn't survive against BTR. So now it's going to leave Slayer on his own, as you also still have Ted from Synergy has been able to quietly move his way in, snake his way through into the circle as the blue zone of phase 6 is closing in. 4 teams, 8 players left standing, and 4 of them are Morph.
Ted going to be just sticking around down south with Slayer of Team IND. Hopefully they'll be having a significantly good phase 7 circle in their favor, but yeah, definitely this is going to be going really well for Morph. They still want some utility, allowing really BTR to not take those easy shots just yet. But I think that here Morph, they need to try and take control of the high ground on the plateau. Playing on a slope can get risky because team can easily push on their location. I think that they did try and scout a little bit more and open their wings to try and take control of this circle. They got the man advantage to do so.
And now as phase 7 shifts to the east, right in the hands of BTR, they've been praying to the PUBG Mobile Circle gods, and they've been gifted the circle right now in the latter parts of this game, but they've got to contend with 4 other players across 3 teams as Slayer prones his way down. The smokes get thrown out by Morph Gaming, looking for Microboy, potentially looking to throw up a grenade. The bombs are going out. Let's see if Microboy can survive.
I'll have to wait and see. The circle actually shifting over to one of the players of BTR. Morph actually going to have to give their position away. The same, unfortunately, for Synergy and Team IND. But here it is, Synergy. Oh my god, he missed so many shots at the start. That was actually really scary. But Team IND out in 4th position. An extra kill for Synergy. But here it is, Morph knocking on BTR's door. But can they get it opened up? And Pride open? That's the question to be answered right now. Oh, that grenade. Run away, Ted. Oh my god, that was so close. I did not like that.
Now Ted pulling out some absolute stock moves. They're only on 3 kills, right? So they do need more placement points compared to the 2 other teams left in this game as the blue zone of phase 7 is closing in. Ted's going to be put under pressure. We see all the smoked path being thrown out by the side of Morph. They haven't had to contend with too much action, so they must have all the utility, all the meds coming into the latter parts of this game, Max.
I'm a little bit scared over here for BTR. Reason why? They're in a dip. No, the main counter of dips, grenades. If they still got some utility over here, mollies, grenades, that could be huge to try and get that control on this phase 7 circle. But now, Synergy, Ted, he does not want to get involved. It's like a Mexican standoff. You just let things happen, and when the fight breaks out, that's when you go in and try and steal the win.
Reba. Let's see if Morph can do the beautiful dance of victory and claim the chicken dinner and stop BTR from getting 3 in a row. But this is the reigning world champions. This is BTR. This is the team that won the first 2 games. Do not ever count this team out, Max.
And as slowly Ted is going to be pushed towards him. Oh, Ryzen's going to go and say hello. Gets the information. I believe that was a nice headshot coming on through. Ryzen gets the shutdown. Synergy out in 3rd position. But now they go for it. They knew the fight was breaking out. They're going to absolutely overwhelm BTR. Bigatron now still with Ryzen left alone. He's got the high ground. They got 1 knockdown for themselves. Going to go for the flash. He wants to take every opportunity to get every single point he might get.
1v3, 1v3, Ryzen, let's even close out. Shots are coming out. He gets 1 knockdown. He's playing around the dip. He's going to go for the knockdown, but it doesn't count. Morph claimed the chicken dinner. They stop our BTR dead in their tracks, and they send another message.
That was so close. I was about to say that's a back-to-back-to-back chicken dinner for their side. That was still mental performance for BTR, but at the end, Morph, they just sneaked their way through the circle, avoided detection most of the game, and they took it for themselves.
Well, let's see what the desk think of this. Over to you guys.
That was way too close for comfort towards the end. That was somehow Bigatron with 2 people almost was able to make it happen against Morph. However, Morph, a great victory from them here, Froz, to be able to stop the Red Aliens marching on here for a moment.
I mean, we saw them also doing this in the South Asia finals of the PMP.
Final,
yeah, exactly. So once again, they're showing that Bigatron is actually mortal and someone can actually do something about it.
Yeah, at that time it was Luxi and Zuxi that were the 2 that were surviving. This time Ryzen and Microboy trying to make it happen. Not going to happen though. Morph with a great performance here. 28 points coming in for them up towards the top. Bigatron, Red Aliens, 22 points. I feel like they're going to be about 50 points ahead of 2nd place.
It's unfair, and at this point you should just leave them alone, right? They're already seated in 1st, and now you just want to try to avoid being in their group, so you don't have to play against them all the time. Just maybe dodge some of the maps against them. So we'll see how that ends up. But very nice game from Morph. I liked how they played, and also liked how they capitalized on. They knew that they were split up. They knew that they were already fighting another team, so they pushed on it. They effectively third-parted the fight that was already going up. That was very well played by them.
Yeah, and we see a few more points coming in for the people finishing a little bit lower as things did stand. But to start off that game, we do want to talk about the slight fight that went down. I said Hacienda might be a little bit of a hot spot at the beginning, and then TSM Entity and Team Secret give us just that.
Yeah, I mean, 2 teams that we saw going out early in game 1 and 2, and once again, Team Secret is going out early as well. That means 2 games now for Team Secret going out early. That is not the start they want to have.
It's not a good start considering how well they were able to play to the qualifying tournament going into this. I was quite surprised, honestly, but again, the opening weekend, that's where you want to contest. That's where you kind of want to lose out the points. So when we get started and get into the opening the plays and the play days and the super weeks, that you're kind of shown what you're capable of and so forth.
Let's take a look at the stats here from Morph as well. I mean, they were dropping down towards that kind of Chumacera area, so it was not too difficult for them to be able to eventually move on to where these winning locations actually occurred. Only 1,000 damage coming in for the win here for them. Not the flashiest of wins by any means, but a win on on the board nonetheless.
Yeah, nonetheless, but we also saw some great play from them early in the game. I think it was around Circle 5 when they had 3 guys down inside the circle. Then they sent one up towards Chumacera Hills there, making sure they have one guy that is scouting around, but also gathering all the information, being able to have another angle in case someone would crash them and so on.
And that's also like, it's so important to get those early positions because you want to be able to scout, you want to be able to see where in the circle that you're going to be able to move, what compounds can you take, what positions can you take, and that's exactly what Morph did.
Yeah, definitely. And when we take a look at how everything played out for them, it was a little bit down to wire towards the end. Let's take a look at the damage coming in as well. As IND, man, putting up the numbers here, along with TSM Entity, which at the beginning of all of this game, a lot of that damage came from that, and then they got felled by Bigitron towards the later stages.
I love this overview, I gotta say. It's so telling who was, you know, impactful in this game here. You see, even though Team IND, they only got 9 kills, they doubled the damage. That has been so impactful for everybody else. They're losing, you know, their helmets, their vests. It's so impactful for everybody else. Managing to also get 9 points from that, that's very great to see from Team IND.
Also, the early fight we had between TSM Entity and Team Secret was kind of hurtful for both of them. Even though Team Secret went out first, they did get 2 kills on TSM Entity, so both of the teams got hurt from that.
Let's take a look at the Mountain Dew the Dew moments here as we have these fights going down to start things. And here you can see Team Secret trying to push in against TSM Entity, and they did. It was Pyrrhic damage that actually happened here, Avenger, but even though these first 2 days, they're only for seeding going into the actual 3 weeks themselves of play, it's very important to win out these battles so you can take the drop spot that you want.
Yeah, and I gotta say though, Team Secret here, being able to push and pushing as 4, pushing as a unit is so important in these fights where you want to take control of a compound, where you want to take control of this. So I really like to see that they're able to get this. Yes, they did get 2 guys knocked, but they ended up winning that fight because of that.
Ross? I mean, also some of the teams you don't play against as much in your normal leagues. We have the South Asian League, but also the South Asian one, which split up a lot of the teams. Now, this weekend is where you get to chance to actually feel on the other team, see how they're actually playing the game, how they like to rotate, where do they like to drop, and all of that together will give you a lot of information.
And these nades by TSM Entity actually were very important and very impactful on the game, Avenger, because they traded 2 for 2. TSM Entity only had 2 in that moment, but they actually killed off 2 of Bigitron. So that could have been a change in the... Bigitron could have won if they had them.
Exactly. You could have said that if that didn't happen, Bigitron might have been able to be in a position where they were able to win this fight in the end here, where we see Ryzen actually do a valiant effort. I gotta say, I think he also did a lot of damage as well from this, getting 5 kills himself. It was close, but I gotta say, an effort like this, you have to pay respect for that. But they did end up winning Morph, of course.
Morph did a good play there, going up against Microboy just before that. Make sure that everyone was pushing out at the same time. So even if some would go down, they would get that trade straight away.
It makes we're in an interesting spot because people could quite easily be onlooking right now and saying, they're just talking about Bigitron, they're just talking about Bigitron. It's difficult to not when they just went first, second, and could have potentially got another first off the back of that. So other teams will have their spotlight. It's great that Morph won this, but it's another second place by this monster team.
Yeah, and when we were looking at the game earlier, you were saying this is going to be hard for Bigitron when they were down to 2 after fighting TSM.
I did.
But the fact was that straight away when they lost 2 guys, they lost Suxy and Luxy, straight away they started to go into a position to actually get map control and looking out, scouting out a lot. And that just shows what kind of players they are.
Let's take a look at the top players here from this game in particular and see who was able to take those top spots. Ryzen will be sitting at the top, 1,000 damage. Wow. Oh. And as if 420p as a resolution wasn't enough, don't worry, because 4,200p gets himself that second place, but almost 1,000 damage done as well here, Martin.
I'm sad he didn't get that.
Yeah.
That's 3 kills, 2 knockouts, very impactful as well, also able to survive for a long time. Oh, actually less time, considering how much damage you're able to do. Slayer as well from Team IND, 5 kills, very impactful himself as well.
That's over 4K of high definition right there from IND. Fantastic stuff. Over. Let's take a look at one of the moments that you guys wanted to highlight as well. What have you got for me, Froz?
It's actually going to be the moment when we saw TSM and Bigitron fight each other, and we're going to take a look at some smart use of utility, actually. So if we jump in here and see this one right here.
Let's get it going.
There we go. So as you can see right now, Microboy is down there. You have Ryzen here on the transition towards Microboy to help him out, and you have Luxy up here. Now, if we play this and look at it, you can see that, of course, we have TSM Z-God in there. Luxy does end up get killed up there, but the thing is that before that, we see that Suxy is actually smoking out Z-God. So instead of just smoking a big wall for Ryzen, they're using one smoke to block all of the vision from Z-God.
Yeah. Yeah, these are kind of smaller things that obviously you're very keen to smoke yourself, so people can't see you. But blocking people's vision is very important.
Yeah, because if this is the only team you're fighting, and this is something you can take to your own game as well when you're playing yourself. Think of, oh no, I'm in a bad situation. I know if you know exactly where the team that is shooting you are, think of throwing a smoke as far as you can, because that's going to block a lot more vision rather than kind of blocking yourself off, because you don't get all that information when you're running yourself. So it's very clever, and that actually ended up giving them being able to rest off Microboy, and that's why they were ending up being 2 guys alive.
Let's take a look at the overall rankings and see how that fares. Is my prediction of 50 points ahead correct?
Oh,
not quite, but quite far ahead indeed, with the 36 points that they currently sit above Udo in second place. Morph team with that chicken dinner will move themselves up to 4th place. That's quite the leap for them. It's only a small sample size of games so far here, Froz, but great stuff from Morph team here.
Well, big enough to give Bigatron a average placement of 1.
Yeah, crazy. But also nice to see Team IND with on 3rd place with only 2 games played. Very impressive for them, able to step up like that, and that's going to secure them throughout this weekend, of course. A very good seeding already, being that far ahead. Looking at the bottom here, 11 to 20. No chance team on 17, and it's kind of getting close there. I'm still surprised to see, obviously, Team Entity in there still in that, but I'm sure they will climb. Do not worry about that.
Yeah, not only them, but we also see Team Secret down there, and again, the biggest opponents of Bigatron. If they are down there, well, who's going to step up against them?
Yeah, it is a good question. But for now, let's head over to an interview here to hear from Slayer, as we have him ready to go from IND. Slayer, how are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Thank you for asking.
We're excited for the World League to begin. How about yourself? Are you excited to get everything underway?
Yeah, definitely. We've been grinding since months, actually. So for this moment, so that's why we are giving our 100%, and we're going to come up with a better performance, I'm sure.
Okay, so looking at today, as well as kind of these seeding days, how do you expect your team to fare here? It's a very strong lobby across the board. What do you think for IND?
Like, the best part about us is we have had international experience. We've played tournaments against these players, so we kind of know, like, the tournament level is different playing against Indian teams, and it's a little different playing against these Southeastern, like, Asian teams. So yeah, we've done our study, so we're prepared.
Okay, and I didn't get to speak to you throughout the last couple of days when I was talking to some of the teams, but I want to ask you one of the questions that I asked everybody. Who do you guys kind of see as some of your biggest rivals? I know Bigatron has done really well in these first couple of games, but who else are you looking at here?
For us, our good, like, the toughest competition would be BTR, of course, like, they are the champions, and other than that, TSM Entity, Udo Gang, and the Team Secret.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Slayer.
3, I think they're the deadliest. Yeah.
Enjoy the next games. Good luck, friend.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's head back on over then. Here, plenty of good stuff to come. We're going to be checking in with a lot of the players throughout the World League here as well. I get to talk to everybody. It's great fun. So, looking forwards into the next games, of course, here. Interesting to hear from IND and see kind of their thoughts moving forwards from all of this. They are one of the teams that I'm particularly looking out for. I think they've got a good pedigree behind them. I think they can make moves.
I think they can make moves. They've shown us so far 2 games already in the top 3, and what he said as well, I took a bit away. They've been grinding for months, but also they've been doing their studies. They're trying to think of what are we up against here? Where are the other teams dropping? How can we prepare as best, and how can we set ourselves up for the best kind of competition here?
Yeah, definitely. And you know what? Micro Uzi, spraying and praying, very, very fast gun, shooting rapid fire. Why don't we rapid fire some questions at some of the players here for the World League and see what they have to think about things.
What is your preferred style of playing the game?
Passive.
Holding and being aggressive when required.
Passive aggressive. Depends upon the situation, either aggressive or passive.
Strategically.
What is your favorite in-game skin?
The Fool. M4.
I'm not fond of skins. I don't have much skins and all.
In-game skin, Glacier M416. Glacier M416.
M4 Fool.
How many hours per day are you spending playing PUBG Mobile?
5 hours.
More than 14 hours.
8 to 9. Around 8 to 10 hours.
10 to 12 hours.
Who do you think will win PMWL East?
We will win.
Any of the Indian team.
Megastars. No idea. The made of this team win.
Synergy.
Who is the best player in the world at the moment?
Hike from Team Secret.
Nothing as such.
Jonathan. Paraboy.
Synergy Ted.
What is your favorite food?
Martabak from Indonesia.
My favorite food is rasma rice, which is an Indian spicy dish made of rice.
Momos.
Dal bata.
What's the most annoying thing to happen in-game?
Flashbang.
My mate MJ keeps on fighting with me.
Car glitches. Parachute glitches.
Teammates crying.
Which weapon should receive a balance update or change, and why?
Groza. It's way too overpowered damage.
I don't think any weapon is such. I'm happy with whatever we are equipped with.
I don't think so. There is any weapon like that. Most probably QBZ in channel. Maybe recoil might be little low.
DP28 because it's too much overpowered.
What is your favorite movie?
World War Z.
I don't watch much movies.
Avengers Endgame. There is a Tamil movie named Vanakkam Chennai.
Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. It's a Bollywood movie.
What is your favorite activity outside of gaming?
Playing football.
Listening music or coding on various apps.
Playing football. Other than gaming, I used to play cricket.
Reading.
What a fantastic interviewer. Just kudos to that man. Kudos to that man. Great to hear from the players as well, though, of course. Really cool to kind of get to chat with them as the days have gone on. Froz, Avenger, we are going to take a look at the schedule as well here. You were in one of their favorite movies as well. Good job, Avenger.
Yeah, I like that.
We have Bigatron getting themselves 2 wins with the back-to-back there, and Morph actually denying Bigatron from getting a triple, and will be able to pick themselves up 1 on Miramar. Next up, we've got Sandhawk and then Erangel to get things going. And one interesting thing that I found when I was talking to a lot of these teams is that a big portion of them find Sandhawk to be one of the most fantastic competitive maps. They like the running and gunning style. They like being able to get into a lot of this action very quickly, Froz, and that's what Sandhawk can provide. It's different compared to an Erangel or a Miramar.
I mean, we heard from the players just now that one of their preferred playstyle is being passive-aggressive, needing to be aggressive. That's when they go aggressive.
Sure.
This is the time they're going to need to be aggressive because we're going to be on Sandhawk. You want to be super aggressive, keep it to short fights and just move on to the next one as soon as possible, or you're going to get third party.
Let's take a look at a team head-to-head as well here, as we have Orange Rock and RRQ Athena going against one another, and they've done particularly well for themselves when it comes to the past couple of games here, Avenger. What do you take away from it?
Obviously, a high damage count here on both of them. Nearly 2,000 on both of them. Obviously, Orange Rocket with nearly 2,300. But also, damage received is very close to each other. They want to try to be able to lower that. Obviously, when you're fighting, if you're receiving more damage than you're giving out, then you're losing the fight. Maybe you don't lose the kills. Maybe you don't get knocked. Maybe you don't get flushed or killed or anything like that. But you lose the fight. You're using your utilities. You're using your heals. You're using your vest, your health. helmets. All this is something that you really want to be able to keep once you go into the later stages of the game, because if you're going into the late stage of the game without a vest, without a helmet, you're going to be having the underhand served.
Let's move on for a Sandhawk here. We saw Barn before, one of the worst places in the entire game.
Yes, not true.
Froz agrees, Martin doesn't agree because Martin's weird. But what else we got about Sandhawk, Froz, when we look down on this?
I mean, we got a few hotspots, of course. Barn, if you ask Avenger, you do have boot camp, as we can see here, with lobster or crab, depending on what you want to call it.
07, no.
You have Paradise. There's a lot of good places, but at the same time, there's also a lot of spread out compounds that you can just go for loot. And remember, you don't need to go straight away for a big compound. If you go for a big place, it's a high chance you're going to get contested. If you go for compounds, less chance.
Circles are very varied as well here on Sandhawk.
It's always fun circles, I gotta say. Yeah. It's always something that we not can laugh evenly off. It's we have some crazy ones, but my favorite ones are obviously to see who wins Paradise, who wins Bootcamp, who wins Painang.
Yeah. Painang can be an interesting place for sure. We're seeing ruins as we do fly on over it. It's very rare we get Painan circles. We actually saw it in PMPL Americas, where I think Tribe Gaming was able to win that out. And they took a position in Painan, right? To then have the circles come towards them, and then everybody had to come towards that. It can be very, very difficult to do.
Well, even if you don't get the circle and you drop in Painan, what's so strong about it is that you have the river crossing there. So you basically have control over both going to East and the West Island without any problem.
And of course, not only is the World League going on, but also PMCO is about to begin as well for the fall split. And you can get registered and you can play the game as well along with us. So make sure to register on the link provided below before tomorrow, most importantly, and you can be playing in the PMCO too. You could find glory, riches, legendary status, Avenger, everything I don't have.
And skins.
And skins, Froz, everything Froz has. Perfect. I like that. I like that. So, moving forward swiftly here into Sandhawk. Of course, I feel like the circles that we've seen so far, I've seen a lot of circles towards that quarry area. I think most people would like, or players would like to not suffer, and it to be on kind of that main land, which is the bigger island. But the small islands provide some interesting moves too.
I mean, every time a player is suffering from the circle, that's when it's most fun to watch the game.
It's glorious.
That's also usually where we see the best team wins, right? Because they are most prepared. They have played these before. They have tried these hard circles.
Definitely.
And then they're sitting there laughing a little bit.
All right, well, time to find out if the players will suffer here on Sandhawk or if they'll run and gun. We're going over to the commentary team here for our fourth game of the day.
Thank you very much, Killeris. Sandhawk coming straight up. We had some Painan discussions over there and also some quarry discussions. I want a mountaintop finish. Those are fun.
Mountaintop finishes are just such a pain in the but look, Sandhawk is third-party central, right? You've got to be able to know how to play around the Northwest Island and Southwest Island. When it comes to circles, you know, Kyler's hit a really good point. Primarily what the teams would love to see is a core mainland circle, whether it's phase 1, whether it's phase 2. The second you know it's in an absolute designated area, then you can at least react to that.
But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Sandhawk, as you like to say, Imperium, welcome to the jungle.
We've got fun and games.
Let's go. We're going to be having a very Eastern-focused playing path. But you know what? It's a 4x4 map, so the playing path really doesn't have that much of an impact onto this one. Box Gaming, Valdez Esports, BTR, and also a few other squads going to be jumping out pretty early on the first 50% part of this playing path. And yeah, we'll see how things are going to be coming out on this fourth game of the day.
Again, what I love about these fully competitive, as in the best of the best teams, they're not afraid to utilize the whole Sandhawk map. So we see Box Gaming. Now, normally I wouldn't advise on spreading yourself as a team on those drop spots, but because it's the northeast around Mong Nai, there's a lot more safety around that. So really great job by them. But the phase 1 circle shits up north. You do have the mainland, you do have the Northwest Island in play, and a tiny tip of the Southwest Island.
You know what? They talked about Painan earlier. Well, seemed like we're going to have some early action happening over there. And also on Paradise Resort. Megastars and Valdez Esports going to be clashing in the early stage. Got a Panda over here. Got to try and save them a little bit. Trying to keep them in game as long as possible, because Pandas are rare now.
Take me down to a Paradise City where the grass is green and the teams are pretty. And the teams in this case are Valdez Esports and Megastars. Of course, in this game, we don't have Udo, Gank, Morph, No Chance, and T1, and we have brought back Celts, Orange Rock, and Nova.
Gonna have here RRQ Athena pushing up. They are very, very close together, which you can't really say, unfortunately, for Synergy. They are going to be having a little bit of trouble to hold up to this one. But, you know what? They have the building in their advantage. So that means that they can try and flush it through the doors, through the staircases when they try and go for that respective push. As D2E, here it is. No, actually, Teddy's going to get pushed up. He's going to try and stay and hold that position on the balcony with Uzi. Was able to get one knockdown on the member of RRQ Athena. And now, because he got those hit markers, will he push this one out? I can see here it is, a Thompson coming out, and Ted will get shut down. A great grenade also coming out from G9, and there you have it. That's going to be Zigsaw shut down, and now RRQ Athena, with still 3 players up. They're going to try and shut down the last remaining member.
Awesome, Bodex, Servi, where are you guys? You were able to get one knockdown onto a member of RRQ, but if you've allowed, realistically, RRQ to take control of that Painan team fight, Ted was doing such a good job of staving off that double trouble pressure from RRQ a few seconds ago. That should have been the clutch play for the rest of the team to follow suit, but instead they missed the mark.
5 Paradise is also breaking out. Hey, look at that, perfect timing. We're going to be moving over there right away. Valdez Esports getting absolutely roasted to a crisp. They're trying to fight back. They get one knockdown, but unfortunately, Arm Joan was the last remaining member. And Valdez Esports, they get swiftly taken out in 15th position. You know what? It's Sanhok. It's bound to happen eventually.
Doesn't matter if they fell into a burning ring of fire. Megastars come out on that fight on top. It is a central part of Phase 1 circle. They've conquered Paradise Resort. Nice to see this Megastars team shine through finally in day 1 of the Pmwl East.
Looking for Servi, looking for Austin Bot. But Austin actually left, going down south of Painan, not quite willing to get involved here. Maybe trying to allow Austin to get another position, another point of pressure to try and stop RRQ Athena from going for any extra push. Interesting strategy that I was not really expecting. You would expect them to try and keep those 2 players together to try and make the most out of those 2 players. But here it is, RRQ's got the nice rooftop play. But unfortunately, doesn't turn that into anything. He's going to drop straight down and he's going to try and run away.
Especially if you had Servi in the building beside it, would have been a bone of contention on a potential double angle coming through. But Servi gets knocked by Ernie. Now it's just going to be left to Austin Bodex to try and hold on for dear life. Now Synergy, they had a solid game too, but that was off the back of what was some fantastic rotations leading up to that point, but this is a whole different scenario in Sanhok.
Yeah, they did really good in the late game. The early game, they just stayed really passive, so that's something that onto this PMW East tournament, they haven't had a lot of experience into that one. And Austin's just like, okay, at least you know what, that reposition they had earlier is going to actually help them out because they lost one member. He sees Austin over there in the distance, they know exactly where he is. They're going to push that. They are not going to let Synergy make it out alive. They're potentially going to get eliminated in 14th position, but will the 1v3 clutch happen? We'll have to wait and see.
Like a bird looking for their prey. They sniffed out their victim. Now they're ready to close out the fight. Now Austin Bodex has a little bit of a nice position on the edge of the stairs, using that third-person perspective, but at the end of the day, I can't help but feel that this is a matter of when rather than if for Austin Bodex to survive.
Yeah, he's still got a few minutes, but won't have time to use it. Oh man, here, Jesus Christ, hello, knock knock, how's it going? 3 players coming around, and that's the end. Synergy. I mean, RRQ Athena 4 kills.
That was the definition of hello darkness, my old friend. Just going right in front of 3 RRQ players.
Just like, you know, doing the conga into the building, like, eh, and just shutting down the last member. Good stuff.
Now, what I found interesting with regards to Orange Rock, when it came to the free fire questions, when they asked who did they think was going to win PMW East, they were the only team, and that was the only player to basically say, we don't know, may the best team win. Which on one hand kind of makes me think, do they actually have the confidence? Because every other team said it's going to be them, it's going to be respectively them, you know, or at least kind of, you know, it was any of the Indian teams. Whereas Orange Rock were a little bit maybe, are they as confident?
I mean, I think there's also a little bit of being humble, you know, like humble is very important. You know, I'm way more humble than you, for example, Imperium, which is like a little bit of a paradox right there.
How dare you? Well, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
I know. There you go, Jansen. No, it's not the case.
Okay, so as the blue zone is closing, we have seen teams shifting their way up forward. We have Team Secret down on the southern edge. They're going basically by Quarry. Most of the teams are generally towards the center of the circle. It is a strong position by Orange Rock that they hold on to, even though they are spread out. You have 3 players on that compound, basically on top of the hill, overlooking the likes of Reject. So that could